I got the other charger, but this one's no good. No, this one sucks.
Back to Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and it's really my distinct pleasure to welcome tonight's guest, the man they call the Dominican Dominator, the uncrowned Mr. Olympia, the man who cannot be kept down, Victor Martinez. Welcome.
Yo, hello everyone. How are you?
What, were you cooking some eggs in the backdrop there during the intro?
No, it's making sure the phone don't die on me.
the held together with Scotch tape, Victor. Wasn't that what the discussion we were having before?
Yeah. You know, if you don't go to the right place, they'll put you together with Scotch tape, these doctors, man.
Victor said,
the point is, that's it. Just get you out in and out. That's it, man.
Victor said I had my knee put together with Scotch tape because I didn't go to special surgery. He's probably right. Well, let's talk about you, though, because you've had some freaking life and career. My God. One day it will certainly be a movie, that's for sure. This past weekend, however, let's just start with the present, because you came into Baltimore, first year time they held this show. No one really even knew you were in the show. I think you kind of kept pretty quiet about it. We all knew you were out in Kuwait training at Oxygen Gym. We'll talk about that in a little bit. You come away with the win. A lot of people are saying this is the best Victor Martinez we've seen in quite some time. Were you happy with what you brought to the stage?
No, I was very happy. You can feel it, you know, especially when you're seeing the change day after day, week after week. And I was feeling it, not just looking at it, but the feel. You know what I mean, Dave? When you have that feel of that, you feel every muscle, you feel every workout, you just feel every pose. You know, so everything, all of it that was missing before, it just came together.
Now, Victor, when I saw you at the New York Pro, I you know, a lot of people felt it was a good look. Some people didn't think it was a good look. I didn't feel you were as conditioned as you needed to be, but I saw something in your physique that I hadn't seen it in a long time, probably since, you know, you tore your patella tendon, and that was a completeness about it. Your muscle size was back, your roundness was back, your shape was back. What happened over this last, year or so that all of a sudden things clicked for Victor Martinez?
I got tired of doing everything myself, and I had an invitation to Oxygen since '09. I wasn't able to take them up on the offer because of everything else that was going on here, So, I mean, I know I was training right. I know I was dieting right. So it wasn't that. So basically, sorry about that. So basically, I know I needed the rest to just focus on my training and my eating. And that's what I did. I focused on my training, my eating. I took them up on the offer, and that's the place where I could do it.
With what you brought to the stage in Baltimore in terms of conditioning and size?
No, I was happy again with the short timeline I had. I was happy, but I also know I can do better. I also know I can do better. So this is what I bought. This is, with the short timeline. Again, I'm my own worst, critic. And I said, okay, good. We're going the right route. But I know I can do better, especially if I'm going to be trying to fight and wiggle my way into that top 6, top 5.
We're going to talk about that in a minute. Now I'm going to take a step back because for some people who haven't followed your career for the last 10, 15 years, let's recap a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way back, but let's go back to 2007 at the Mr. Olympia contest. You were riding a huge wave of momentum after that Arnold Classic win earlier in the year. You came into the Olympia. I was sitting right in the press pit. After the prejudging, everyone said, Victor's got this. Cutler was off. You were at pretty much your best. You had peaked perfectly. What was going through your mind after that prejudging?
No, I mean, before prejudging, I thought I had the show a month away from the show, 8 weeks away from the show. I knew I had it only because Jay didn't even have '06. If you look at '06, you compare '06, Jay didn't even have '06. So I already knew I had to show when I started prepping after the Arnold. So it wasn't anything, no doubts, if and no buts. The only doubt I had was the the judges. That's it.
Now, let me ask you this question, because after the show was over, a lot of people were in utter shock, myself included. We were sitting in the audience just shaking our heads. Obviously, it couldn't have hurt anyone worse than it hurt you personally, I'm sure. How do you recover from a loss like that, knowing that you're pretty much were the winner that night?
Well, it's the one of the few shows that you know uh, you get second at the Olympia. You usually get congratulations, like Dexter did last year. I didn't get congratulations. I was getting more like you got fucked looks, and people pretty much didn't even say anything. They wanted to say congratulations, but they felt they couldn't congratulate me because the goal wasn't achieved, or what was I supposed to get accordingly. But at the end of the day, I just kept my mouth shut because I seen it time and time again happen with Sean Ray and Flex Wheeler, and they spoke their mind, and in the end of the day, decisions will not be overturned. So what can I do? I started focusing on the following year, and that's all I could do.
Right. And the following year, that's when things started to crumble a little bit in your world, at least, because you were at the pinnacle
Yeah.
of the sport. I remember you tore your patella tendon, what was it, like 4 or 6 weeks out from the Arnold Classic?
Yeah, about 6 weeks out.
How did that happen? I know there's been controversial different story versions. What was the actual way you tore that patella tendon?
Yeah, I remember, Dave. None of my injuries have been in the gym.
No, I know.
No, none of them. This is after already I had a leg workout the day before. I felt the pinch on my knee. So it's one of those workouts you have, and you're sensitive, and any misstep, any explosive step, anything explosive will hurt you. And I was getting a ticket, and I ran to assess the situation, and by then my knee just popped, and that was the day after the leg workout.
Now, I tore my quad in India. When I tore my quad and I was sitting there on the step, I thought I was in a dream. I realized I wasn't in a dream. Now, for me, it wasn't as bad. I wasn't competing anymore. What goes through your head? You just got off the Arnold Classic win. You were second at the Olympia. You were getting ready to win the next next year's Arnold Classic. What thoughts and ideas run through your head in terms of like what's going to happen to your bodybuilding career at that point?
I mean, first thing I said was in my mind was there is no God. I was like, and then the second thing I said was, how can I get myself to the hospital?
Oh my God, yeah.
And I called my brother to accompany me, and I drove straight to hospital for special surgery.
There you go.
The only hospitals around me was Columbia Presbyterian, a couple of neighborhood, just basic hospitals. Special surgery, I know, because all the commercials, all the Giants, Jets, basketball teams, they all go there, and they always used to advertise Madison Square Garden. So I knew I had to make a beeline straight there.
Now, a lot of people don't realize you had no health insurance when that happened. You paid cash, right?
I don't think I ever had health insurance.
Do you have it now?
I think when I was a doorman,
You still have no health insurance?
When I was a doorman, I had health insurance, man. No, I play everything cash, man. Everything. It's either fucking pay cash or do Obamacare, which you're gonna get fucked and shit. Get fucking. You won't get Scotch tape. You might get duct tape.
Maybe Trump care will be better. Who knows? So how much did that operation cost you? $30,000?
Well, fuck, man. By the time it was through, I think it was about 35,000.
Wow. Oh my God. So you come back from the patella tendon tear, which is much more difficult psychologically as it is physically, because to get under the bar and start squatting after having torn a muscle is always difficult. But I remember you telling me before the show started, Oscar had you squatting like 400 or 500 pounds, a year after that. And you made the comeback. Probably 2011 really was when you kind of hit your pinnacle again, and you won that Arnold Europe show. That was like Victor Martinez is back. And you never made it back to the United States, or at least not in a conventional sense. Tell us what happened.
No, I made it. Again, this is just, repercussions of the things I did back in the late 90s, early 2000. When you got to remember, when you only have a green card and you do a crime, you do double time.
Is that true? Wow.
The state time, and then you get locked up through immigration.
Oof.
So for everything that I've done in my past, I only have done my state time. I never got to do my immigration time, as they say, which is a total scam. But
so
again,
what was the problem? You didn't renew your green card? Is that what it was?
No, man. I just told you, man. I've been here my whole life, man. I always had a green card. When I did my, I did my citizenship too. It's just I got in trouble. And when you get in trouble, they could pull things from you.
Oh, is that really what happened? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's it is what it is. At the end of the day, as soon as I got locked up, I told the judge, "Listen, man, let's go through all the charades. And at the end of the day, I'm going to win this case. One, because I have a good lawyer. Two, because again, this country is. I just won the Arnold, and I can hire the best lawyer. And everybody else that gets deported is they just don't have the money to defend themselves.
Is that really what it had to bounce to? Shit. What did that
That's
cost
all it
you?
comes down to, man. And Obama not keeping his promises on the fucking immigration policies he fucking said he would do. But he did give us Obamacare.
What did that cost you to defend that little incident?
Man. It cost me about close to 30 grand.
Another 30 grand out of your pocket. What did you win at the Arnold that year?
40.
Oh, all right. Well, you still came out 10 grand on top. Not to mention the state fed you for, 8 months you were in there?
Yeah, 8 months and shit. And then, it's just, you didn't want to eat because what you're going to do, you got to remember, if you take care of yourself, and when you go to jail, you're bad. If you don't take care of yourself, it's good because now you're having 3 meals or whatever crap they give you. Crackheads do good in jail because they don't eat outside.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But when you take care of yourself, your body's always gonna go south. Right. You're gonna have a fraction of everything you do. Sleep, calories, quality of food, everything just goes down. It's not like you're gonna sleep 8 real hours. You gotta remember that you're fucking having breakfast at 4 a.m.
Oh my God, yeah. How much weight did you lose while you were in immigration jail there?
Fuck, man, it was 35 pounds.
Wow. So you get out in 2012 after almost 8 months, and you start training again, and then the freak accident occurs. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was just a bad hospitality on the promoter's part. I kept asking him, take me to the gym for like 3 hours. He refused to take me to the gym. He was giving me, I don't know, people say they give you dogs in China. I think they were giving me cat in fucking Mexico. He was underfeeding me, and I told him, listen, I just want to get to the gym. And he goes, well, let's do this one picture here, arm wrestle. I said, I don't arm wrestle. He goes, just one picture with a fan. And that shit went from a picture to arm wrestling, a guy jumping in my arm, and boom, that's it. So
the guy broke your arm?
It was just bad on the promoter's part. He'll never admit it at the end of the day. But, he should have just taken me to the gym. I would have had my workout. I would have, come back, done my guest posing, and which never happened. And that's it, man.
Did the guy at least feel bad about the fact that this idiot fan broke your arm?
Feel bad. I mean, the guy took me to a fucking chop shop hospital, and I said, this is not a paid hospital. What's wrong with you, man? I mean, feeling bad. I mean, I think he made it worse by taking me to a public hospital.
Oh, my God. So what happened? What'd they do there? Did they set your arm?
Listen, man. You know what I did, man? I fucking tell them take me out of this hospital. Take me to a paid hospital. Once they assessed my arm, they said I need an operation, which was fucking obvious, you
Yeah.
know. And I told the guys, listen, patch me up and give me a shot of that ketamine you have there and get me a flight out of this country. You know, and that's it. So I came back fucking looking at fucking pink bunnies and yellow elephants, whatever the fuck I saw.
They really gave you ketamine?
It's Mexico, man. You know, I think I gave the guy $100. He's like, well, you know, we can't get. I'm like, here's $100 fucking dollars. Man. Be fucking serious. It's Mexico. You know, he gave me a shot. I could have my flight 5 hours later. By the time I landed, the shit had worn off. Got to LA. I had called a couple of friends of mine that know doctors in LA. By the time I got to LA, the doctor that wanted to operate on me shows up coked up because I was watching.
What?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
kidding
The doctor on call. I got to the hospital at 10 in the morning because my flight was early from Mexico. It was like 5 o'clock.
Right.
I got to the hospital at like 9:30, close to 10. The doctor on call, Dave.
Yeah.
Shows up at 5 p.m. on Sunday. Now, if anybody knows LA and you know what happens on Sundays, there's a lot of fucking parties on Sundays, man. And the doctor shows up with his fucking Boodai, and I said, listen, man.
And you could spot that too.
Oh, I can spot that. Come on, man. I bartended in fucking Sound Factory, you know, Limelight, all that shit. I saw his fucking eyes, and I told him, listen, here's what you're going to do. You're going to write me 5 prescriptions of Percocet. I think he wrote me like 5 prescriptions, no questions asked. I checked myself out, and I had to go and see 2 other doctors, and I went and I switched hospitals. And I finally got a doctor, Dr. Jeff Coate. I think by Thursday he operated me Friday.
In LA?
So I was hanging out a week with a broken arm.
Oh my God. In LA? Was that in LA or New York?
In LA.
Oh,
In
wow.
LA. No, in LA because had I gone to New York, the doctor in special surgery wasn't available.
Oh.
So it's like anything else, a mechanic. You have to call a doctor to get the best doctor.
Right.
You know, doctors are only good as a mechanic as well, or a chef, or anything else.
Sure.
If you don't have references and you don't know them or who's who, you're either gonna get a party animal doctor that just read a few books, or you're gonna get that real passionate doctor that wants you to get back on that stage. And the first thing he said is, you're gonna get back. You're gonna have a strong arm. And this is our job. This is what you're gonna do. And I said, fine. And next thing you know, I went to a 3-4 hour operation.
Wow. What was the recovery on that job?
Man, you gotta remember, this happened in September. I couldn't move my arm until late December.
Oh,
it
my
was
God.
dead. The
Wow.
spiral, the nerve, which is it's a spiral nerve that goes down your arm. It was affected, and there was no feeling.
Wow. Were you nervous that you weren't going to get feeling back?
A little bit, but at the end of the day, I kept telling myself every day, I'm gonna get back. So the more doubt you have, the less is gonna happen.
Right.
And I didn't actually start training until late December when a few people, I did alternative treatment. I did acupuncture, I did soft tissue work, and I went to see a couple of guys that activate nerves, again, these trigger points. And finally, when my arm jumped up, I had the first feeling. It was during that weekend of, I think Dexter had won the second and last show, Masters Olympia.
Right. Okay, so that was in December then, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I started getting feeling that weekend, and
Wow.
finally I started working out. And then my first show back was in the New York Pro, 2013.
I remember. Now, what did that operation cost you, the one to fix your arm?
$25K.
You're pretty close on all your operations. You got 35, 30,
Listen, man.
25.
Listen, if I could get all my money from operations and lawyers I spend in my lifetime,
You'd be a rich
I'll be
man.
doing. No, man. A rich bitch.
Now, 2013, okay, you did the New York Pro, but then you did Toronto and you won. That had to be a
Yes.
huge. That had to be huge psychological victory for you because people didn't really know what you went through. Leading up to that, I didn't realize you didn't train for like 6 months after that arm break.
6 months. I didn't train for the year first of being locked up in immigration.
That's true. Yeah,
Then with the broken arm, I only actually started training in January.
it's crazy.
So when I came to these shows, I asked myself, what were these guys doing all this time?
Well, you know what the funny thing is? No one really ever saw you at your best. Everyone assumed Victor Martinez was washed up, but you really hadn't had a chance to train. That's really what people didn't understand. You were doing this on genetics, basically.
No, you hit it. You hit the nail right in the head. They didn't know. They have no clue. They assume. But then again, I'm not one to self-pity. I'm not at the Olympia press conference saying my dog died, my cat died, my fucking next door neighbor died, and crying on film, expecting pity from people. That's not me. You know what? At the end of the day, I just got to work. I got to get back. Pity doesn't pay bills. Pity doesn't make you stronger. It just makes you more of a bitch,
Good
And
point.
at the end of the day, I knew I just had to get the work done. I couldn't get it in. I didn't have the time. All I could do is go and build as I went along.
Yeah, and you did. 2014, you won Tampa. You went back to the Olympia again. 2015, last year, no win for you, Victor. That was the first year you hadn't won a show in quite a while. What happened last year? We didn't quite see the best Victor that we had seen in the past.
I mean, the New York Pro happened.
Well, you say you won that show, right? You beat Juan. You in your mind, you say you beat him.
Not in my mind. Fucking Dexter thought. Everybody else thought. But so.
Were you your best? Were you your best at that New York Pro? Come on, be honest.
I was good enough.
Okay, but you weren't your best, though.
Not my best, no way.
What happened in 15 to today, 2016, that you've gotten better at the age of whatever you are, 43, 44 years old?
I took that time away. I said, listen, I'm not going to try and tackle life like I do every day, running around 6-8 hours a day and then getting into the gym and expect to have 110% good workout. So I decided, let me do nothing but rest and focus like bodybuilding used to be, when I first started and watching bodybuilders in the 90s. All they had to do was a few shows. Social media wasn't so prevalent or not even existing. And they always came in good because they always had that rest.
Right.
And I said, let me give myself this rest. Let me do this and let me sacrifice. And what I sacrificed was, the time I spent with my family. And because in the end of the day, that sacrifice is really for them. And that's what I did in it. And it was a good choice.
Did you stop going out as much also? Did you kind of kill your social life a little bit?
Well, I haven't really gone out since I got out, from immigration. Because once I was in there and I got out, I realized there really aren't that genuine good friends. And go through a hard time, I always tell people, and you would start writing off people's names, because then I realized, wow, all this time I was partying, hanging out with these people, breaking bread. They were only there as opportunity.
Does that make you a little sad?
That was probably the last time before 2011.
Does that depress you a little bit to realize that the people you were hanging out with that you thought were your support group, that you thought were your friends, really were just kind of there to hang out and have a good time, and they really didn't give a crap?
No, it doesn't depress me. I wish they would have fucking just let me know sooner.
That's not
yeah. It doesn't depress me. Actually, gives me more time for me, more time for my family, and less time of bullshitting, wasting time on the phone talking to them.
Now let's flash forward to this year. After New York Pro, you've made the decision to go out to Oxygen Gym in Kuwait on Boodai's invitation. I know you said he had extended it to you a couple years ago. You finally decided to take him up on it and head out there. What was the impetus? What made you say, you know what, I'm going to leave everything and go there?
Again, just the way I looked at the New York Pro, and then went to South Africa, the way I looked up there, and you know, not having that size I needed. And, you know, again, these are good bodybuilders. I'm not taking anything away from Roelly, Dexter, of course. I mean, you're competing against Dexter, number 2. It's like, it was far-fetched, you know?
Right.
But then, you know, you have them, Bayeki is in front of me, and I said, listen, I need to step it up. If it's not my diet or anything, I need to step it up and make the change. And that was a small change I could do to make a big difference.
What was the most important thing that you think that you got out of going to Kuwait? Personally, I said it on the radio. I believe that it reduced the distractions in your life and it allowed you to completely focus on bodybuilding. Would you agree with that statement, or is there another benefit of being there?
I mean, distractions, I don't really distract myself that much now. It's more life. You know, you got to remember, I have 5 kids.
I know. That's what I mean. That's a distraction,
You
Victor.
know, I mean, it's not distraction. It's more time, you know, because you're not going to, you know, not get your daughter from school because you want to rest and have a good workout.
Right, right.
You know, it's like, those are things I want to do. So I said, you know, I have to make the sacrifices of the things I want to do, you know, to get the things I need to do, which is, you know, get back to, you know, the top condition in bodybuilding. I mean, distractions was long gone. You know, distractions was the partying, the hanging out, the drinking, the always, you know, just those were the distractions, you know. And but I stopped that a while ago. You know, I'm not easily distracted right now.
Tell us about Abdullah, who has been training you out in Kuwait, and he came to the Baltimore Pro with you. What's his gig?
Abdullah's a piece of work, man. This guy has no filter, man. This guy has no filter. He'll tell you like it is. If the food wasn't fresh, he'll make you throw it out right there. Because
really,
me personally, I don't like frozen food. I don't like anything frozen. I eat organic. I spend per week probably about $500 a week on grass-fed beef and organic chicken and all that. And his thing was, if the food is 5 hours old, it's not fresh. Throw it out right now. And he's so passionate about it. I was like, I like this, you know?
Yeah.
And then real critical. Your body look tired. You off today. You know?
Oh, really?
Like,
so he's
okay,
very instinctual.
You know, I thought we were going to work out, but he'll pinpoint simple things that you would not get through online, that you will not get by sending pictures.
Right.
You know, so, I mean, he was there every day. You got to remember, from morning to night, and he's a firefighter back home, just like Asghar. And so the constant being vigilant of what I ate, how my workout went, and my rest. He constantly kept pressing me, you gotta get sleep, you gotta get sleep, you gotta get sleep. So it's that constant thing that people might think as annoying, where is that thing that you need to do and force yourself to do that you're not used to doing.
Right, yeah, because you're all over the place. Yeah, sleep is important. I always said that. When I was competing, I was sleeping 9-10 hours a day, taking naps and stuff like that. It is important. Talk to me a little bit about Boodai. You know, obviously you've known him for a while. How instrumental is he out in that Middle Eastern, you know, Mecca we call Kuwait, of bringing bodybuilders to the gym there and making them better bodybuilders? Explain to us why he's so successful at what he's doing there.
He stays on top of us, again, on the food, on the eating, and the training. You're never, ever going to be let to train, you know, be left alone to train alone at the gym.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Interesting.
No, at any given time, there was always going to be one of the 8 guys there to train you. So even, you know, we know how to train, Dave.
Yeah.
You know, I can go to the gym right now, do a chest workout. I would think it would be hard, but when somebody's pushing you,
sure,
it's just going to be so much harder.
Right.
You're going to really squeeze out the most you can. So the last day I was there, I had a flight. I said, let me go early. The gym is empty. I'm about to get in a workout. Chemo walks up. He's one of the trainers there. He goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing back. Who you with? I said, no, I'm just going to do it alone. I'm good. He goes, no, you're not. Let's go.
That's great.
So better make sure that one of the guys is always with you or standing by you. He makes sure that you're getting on your meals. He will call every day, even when he was away with his family on vacation after Ramadan. He made sure he was calling average 3-4 times a day. You know, this is, to say, okay, you know what, he likes bodybuilding. I think it's beyond that. He just wants to really create champions, and on his watch, he doesn't want to miss a beat. He doesn't want to say, hey, he missed a meal, or he was tired, or none of the guys were there. There's no excuse, because anything happens where you miss a workout, miss a meal, you don't get rest, you'll have to answer to him.
Wow.
You know,
Interesting. I'm glad. The reason I wanted to bring this point up, and I'm glad I didn't even realize that was involved there, was because everyone thinks, oh, I got to get out to Oxygen Gym so I can get the best drugs. Listen, and I tell people this all the time, drugs don't build champions. Hard training, eating, sleeping, that's what builds champions. And I knew the environment there had to be conducive to that type of a protocol and that kind of a prep, because that's why guys are getting great results out there, because they're training hard. And I think that, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, the difference between the 90s and now is that guys don't train hard anymore.
yeah, they don't train hard enough. And you got to remember, the machines now, as I'm in the process of building my own gym, all the machines I'm looking at are the machines from the 90s and early 2000s. The machines now, you get any of these Planet Fitness pieces of equipment, MTS, Hammer, all this stuff is made to make training easier.
Right. You're right.
It's not made to make your body, to get that natural strength out of you. Now people are curling on the preacher curl 100 pounds on the stack, and they think they're doing the stack, but when you really gauge it, they're doing really 50 pounds because the company's made it easier so you can feel like you're getting a workout, and that's for your everyday people. Machines aren't made for bodybuilding anymore.
It's very interesting. Interesting observation. Now, where are you opening this gym?
Oh, in Manhattan. Got to do Manhattan. I mean, everybody wants to take me to Jersey. Bronx is cool, Queens is far as fuck. And Brooklyn is as well. I'm a Manhattan guy. I grew up in Manhattan, and that's why I want to stick to doing it, because at the end of the day, you got to earn that money easier, and in Manhattan, money just comes to you. Yeah. And at the same time, bodybuilding gyms are obsolete. So I'm looking at doing both, the best of both worlds. Your everyday people part of the gym and your bodybuilding part of the gym. And my bodybuilding part is going to be really, really, really for bodybuilding. You're talking about the equipment, the dumbbells. Each piece is going to be hand selected. I'm not buying, 50 pieces from one company because they're giving me a great deal.
Right.
I'd rather get 20 pieces and get the best 2 of each company.
What's the name of the gym going to be?
There's a few names. Again, it's going to be marketing to it. I can't make it too threatening.
Right.
Like Hellfire Fitness. It just can't be too weak sounding either.
Right.
So we're having a focus group on that. It's going to be good. You stand by for the name.
All right. We'll come
right
out
now, I'm in between locations. I'm seeing one tomorrow again, and yeah, so it's got to make sense,
Yeah, that's exciting.
I can't gear 100% to bodybuilding, because at the end of the day, they don't really pay your bills.
Right.
And I can't go 100% towards your everyday people, because at the end of the day, they're not me,
Sure.
I gotta, so I gotta do 60-40 and have the best of each one and cater to both, and that's the idea behind the plan,
Well, you had a good gym back a number of years ago, Victor's Gym, wasn't it called? I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah, I had a gym. And you know how that gym came about? I was in a club party, and my friend said, you should do a gym, and I said, okay, I will. 8 weeks later, it was open.
So no planning or thought behind it, in other words.
No planning or thought. I did it on a handshake with the landlord, and it was just a bad idea, because he wound up backing out of his handshake deal. So
that sucks.
Don't do handshake deals, everyone, with landlords. They're the biggest crooks after fucking lawyers and politicians.
So, all right. So the Baltimore show is over now. Obviously, you got the win. You qualified for the Olympia automatically. I know you got your own show, the Victor Martinez Future Legend Show, NPC show coming up at Lehman High School on August 27th.
Lehman College.
Oh, Lehman College, excuse me. Lehman College on August 27th. What made you decide to get into promoting shows?
I've been asking to have a show for the last 8 years, and I finally got one last year.
I didn't know that. What makes you makes you want to promote a show? Just to give back, or for the money?
Well, not just to give back. There's a lot of things I wasn't seeing the athletes were getting at shows.
Such as what?
You know, a lot. You know, I mean,
well, how is your show going to be different?
I'm not here to put anybody down in any of their shows. You know what? I wanted my show because I have my own ideas.
How is your show going to be better?
I mean, people will come, they will tell you themselves. Okay. I'm not here. I don't like to self-glorify or anything.
Well, you want to get people enticed.
It's just, I'm all about the athletes, and I'm all about the patrons, you know. One thing I'm doing is kids under 10, they get inspired easily, and I'm not charging them.
Wow, that's great. I like that.
You know,
great idea.
I could have done it anywhere that's city-like or what have you. I'm doing it in the neighborhood, in a nice campus where anybody can make it a family day, you know?
Okay.
I like, after a show, I like to feed athletes, you know? I like when there's food after, so my show will probably have more food than any pro or amateur show around the world.
What kind of food? Dominican food?
You know? Well, you know, I like pizza.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. There's going to be pizza up everybody's ass. And I'm not talking about corporate. We're talking about mom and pop pizza. There's going to be the best pizza in the house.
There you go.
My friend, there's going to be Mexican food. There's going to be healthy food. You know, there's going to be Fit Fuel. There's going to be Eva's.
Right.
Eva's.
They've been
Cinco
feeding
de
you
Mayo
for years.
restaurant.
Yeah.
You know. The athletes, they're good. The patrons, they will pay a small fee for the food because we're raising money for charities.
Gotcha.
You know, we're not charging $20, we're not charging $15 or $10. It's gonna be like $5.
Oh wow, really?
Again, this is all to raise money for autism, Christian Rivera Foundation, and Family and Children's Services in New Jersey.
Tell us why the Autism Society is so important to you.
My sons. It's an awareness that's you know, it's a big awareness. You got to remember, autism affects 1 out of every 100 kids born every year, and it's getting worse as we go along. The government won't fess up as to why this is happening more often than none.
Why do you think?
Well, it's the government, you know.
You think they're poisoning us?
That's what they do, man. They don't tell you shit, you know. I mean, when you look at the news, the way I look at it, I look at it like a puzzle. You know, they tell you 30% of what's real, you have to decide for the rest. You know.
Do you think it's from vaccinations?
Go ahead.
Do you think it's from vaccinations?
These are just theories.
What do you think, though?
These are just theories. You got to remember vaccinations, food, preservatives in foods. You know, you name it. It goes down the whole line of anything. Medication. Doctors want to write a medication for fucking everything now.
You're right.
You know, I mean, now people die going to hospitals. I mean, you don't know. All I know is a mother with a child with autism is not helped by the government. You know, so every single awareness to help or to fund any kid for an after-school program for autism to help that change or better, just have a normal day or week or life to come. It's tough. It's tough, man, and it's not getting any easier. And if I could do a small thing, you know what? I'm not rich. All I could do is put my time, and that's all I do. You know.
Sure. If you had to vaccinate your kids again, would you do it?
That's the thing. I vaccinated my daughter. She's fine.
But they say that more
because
boys.
You don't vaccinate, then you're gonna have a kid with freaking, you know, I don't know, a fucking. They might get some weird fucking yellow fever or something, and you know, you cure one thing, but you get another thing.
Well, when was the last outbreak of yellow fever? That's the problem. You know, who knows if these diseases even exist anymore? That's what I always say.
Yeah, you know, so injections again. I mean, if you don't have them, then they can't go to school.
True. Yeah, but that's another way the government controls us, don't you think?
Exactly. It's all controlled. It's all controlled. I mean, it's you don't vaccinate them, they don't let you go to school. You can't leave certain countries. You can't go to certain countries. So it's all you can do is spread them out. Spread them out. Wait till your kid's immune system gets stronger,
Right, right.
and vaccinate them as you go along. You
Yeah.
know, it's higher rate for boys than it is in girls.
Yeah.
I mean, my girls are all fine. You know, knock on wood. Thanks God, but it's the boys. It's nerve wracking, and I can't say enough. I mean, people just got to stand up. You know, more programs. When I have my gym, I like to have autism physical fitness day for kids because the equilibrium is off. You know, social standing is off. They can't hold conversations. You know, some of them, very few, can hold a job. So it's and you can't really treat them with pity. You got to try as much as you can, let them be free because they don't have a single bad bone in their body either. You know.
Right. How many of your boys have autism?
No, both of my boys. I have
Both of
5
them?
kids. My girls are good. Just my 2 boys.
Wow. Let me ask you another question, Vic. Let's change gears for a second. A lot of people want to know what Kevin Levrone said about you after the show. I heard he came up to you and he congratulated you. What did he say?
No, Kevin. I mean, to hear from Kevin, I mean, he understands. You know, he understands what it takes to get back. You know, especially him coming back now and saying he's going to do the Olympia. The criticism he's getting, and I tell him, you know, he knows what I've been through with my surgeries and my jail, with broken arm, knees, and all that, and he just gave me, you know, the utmost respect, and that's what I said to him. I said, Kevin, you know, I do nothing but respect you, and I know why you're coming to the Olympia. You know, and these kids that moonlight, you know, on 10 scoops of pre-workouts and do 5 sets and then go selfie themselves, you know, and start criticizing you because you're coming to the Olympia and saying you ain't going to do nothing. There's no respect. These kids have no respect now. Social media don't respect nobody, you know. So usually you want to ring or choke a few people at one time. But and I told them, listen, when somebody says something negative about you, all I could do is block them because in reality, they don't respect you. They're not going to respect me. You know, and the task at hand is you're coming back at 52, and that alone, it's a big, giant step. You know that people should say, "Wow, you know what? He's coming back." You know, let's hang back, see how he's going to do. Let's encourage him. Instead, fucking doubts, negative. You ain't going to do shit. It's impossible. You're not going to be filled. That is not the goal. You know, and if it happens, hey, even better, you know. But remember, you know, Lou Ferrigno came back in '93.
Right.
He looked great.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a big, you know, big inspiration to many people. So Cameron's gonna keep inspiring. He's inspiring now. He's always inspired. Uncrowned Mr. Olympia, you know that as well, and he's coming back. So a lot of respect to him, and I can't wait to be on stage with him because I never got to grace the stage with him before.
Are you going to beat him?
Come on, man. Yeah. Let's see, man. You know what? I thought I'd beat Jay, and you know I'm not predicting shit no more.
Very smart. I got one more question for you. The fans want to know what you felt about Big Ramy. Obviously, you were out there in Kuwait. You were training with him. How does he? Is he impressive in person in the gym?
I'm sitting on my sofa now, and you know I can't reach the other end of it, and that's Big Ramy.
So he is impressive, in other words.
No, he's just impressive, not just in his physique, but also in his heart. It's just crazy. He's just crazy because growing up in bodybuilding and seeing the guys in the 90s and when they were at their prime, they thought and they would act towards other people as they were walking gods.
Right.
And they will brush you off. And as big as Ramy is, I don't think he sees himself that way. He sees himself as a competitor, and he gives nothing but love to me and anybody who just starts following bodybuilding today. You know, he's just the same person, and you know, people misread me because he came from, you know, Kuwait, from way of, you know, Egypt, you know. Big Ramy competed with me at the 2013 And I'm coming back. People don't know I was, just trying here, and they figure, oh, because of that face, sourpuss face I had on stage, it was not geared towards him, man. At the end of the day, that was just self disappointment or anything, and I take it back because it was no ill feeling towards him.
Right.
Again, we on stage, we all strive to win, and that's it. The problem was I was looking to better myself, and I never looked sideways and missed the fucking behemoth that was next to me and shit that was on stepping on stage with.
Yeah. That when you're making
Then
your
I would have.
when you're making your comeback and you're not your best, you don't want to be standing next to Big Ramy. That's for sure.
It's like, what the fuck? I'm like the size of one of his legs. I'm like, cool, man. I mean, you didn't see me after, oh, I should have won and got on the forums or
No,
anything
no, you
saying
didn't.
I should have won. What I did, get right back on that saddle and did, Toronto a week later. That's all
Yeah,
I could do, man.
yeah, yeah. No, that's funny. You're going back to Kuwait after your show on August 27th. How many weeks will you be there before the Olympia?
Unfortunately, not enough, time as I would have liked. But I have to. I don't want to let up on this show. It's only my second year. I want to make sure the athletes are good. I want to make sure the new medals they get, they like. I want to make sure everything runs as smooth, and nobody's gonna do it as good as yourself.
Sure.
Last year again, 100 people offered to help me. At the end of the day, I only have a handful. So I just got to do it myself, and I have to, focus on the show and stay with my training. Of course, again, it's not Kuwait, it's not constant food, but I will follow close to the same protocol as possible until I get back, and I will have about 2.5 weeks there.
Okay. And if you had to say the most important thing to you going into this year's Olympia, what would it be? What do you want? What do you want to leave the Olympia with this year that would make you feel like, hey, I did what I came to do?
Listen, I've been trying to crack the top six since '09. '09, I worked with Joe McNeil or 10, I think it was, and I just kept falling short. Getting back to the top six again will be a big, big stepping stone for me. I wanted to, retire winning the New York Pro. I haven't had any luck in that stage. You know, yeah, yeah. I wanted to leave with a good legacy. Not that I'm trying to plan an exit, but you always want to leave at your best. You don't want to leave with with the injuries that happened before with the trying. You want to leave with, what, you got there, you got it, you didn't give up. And again, at the end of the day, is inspiring people because you can either have 1,000,001 excuses or you can have nothing but solutions. And that's all I try to find is the solutions to better myself and let people know, what, you got no kids, you should have zero excuses. You're healthy, you should have zero excuses. No injuries, even less of an excuse. So when just before you make it, I can show you pictures of my friend who benches with one arm. I've seen people go up there with no legs. So guys, stop that crap. Don't say your pre-workout didn't work. Don't say your protein is fake. And what have you. Just stop being bitches. Right now, you got to remember, Dave, there's more pros now than ever.
Yeah.
Like I said before, there used to be Ivy League college. Now it's not even a community college. It's more like an online college now. You know.
Victor, are you suggesting what you just said that you might be retiring after this year?
No, no, not after this year,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's coming.
Hmm.
It's coming. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't wanna, just walk around unhealthy at the same time
Sure.
because you got more injuries. You want to leave on point when you can actually keep teaching your ways down the road. Keep doing seminars in one piece and look healthy. I don't want to leave, beaten up, never made that progress. I mean, it's just bodybuilding takes a lot out of you, and it's one of the toughest sports out there, most expensive sports out there. And I want to leave with the good graces, good placings, and knowing that I was at the top, not only in heart, but also in mind and on that stage.
Well, Victor, thank you for being so forthright and honest with us, and congratulations on the win in Baltimore. I know, as a fan of you and a friend, I'm looking forward to seeing you on that Olympia stage, and I truly believe you'll be in that top
No, no,
six.
before you know, everybody's got to know. The first time I won my first show, which was 1997 Metropolitan, it was you, Dave. I was standing in front of Johnny Latz and John Timbeck, rest in peace. I
Rest
keep
in peace.
repeating it. He called you, and I picked your brain for at least a half hour. While I looked at your picture, metrics, you were still advertising
Yeah.
them. You were starting to advertise them. And you gave me my first pointers that actually helped me dry out and get to that stage and win the Metropolitan in 97. And so people don't know stuff like that.
That's bodybuilding history right there. And yeah, John Tempick, may he rest in peace. You're right. That was a mutual friend we had who passed away from cancer. But Victor, do it for us old guys. I want to see you in that top six or higher. I think this is your best look. I think if you dry out a little bit more, we're going to see a
Yes.
very devastating Victor Martinez on stage at the Mr. Olympia 2016.
Yes, thank you, Dave. Thank you, guys. RXMuscle. Thank you, MHP, always. Oxygen Gym, Pro Edge Training, Abdullah, all you guys, Boris, for putting on a great show. Stay tuned, Mr. O 2016.
All
Let's
right.
go, everybody. Thank you.
And that will take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you with Ask Dave in 10 minutes.